Hello, this is Tom Sillis, CEO of Wecro.com. Title of this video is Why You Are Broke. And you went, well, I'm not broke. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you're more broke than you think, okay? Here we got a little, before I go further, we need to do some housekeeping tasks. I'd like you to please subscribe to this channel because I have a lot more good content coming. It could save your butt in the event of a global collapse, which is coming anyway. We're going to have a global depression very soon. And what I tell you in this video could save your butt, okay? Like I said, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and at the end of this video, stay to the end of the video, because at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a code. This code is going to be worth some money in digital currency that we have. We created a global currency that's backed by commodities and precious metals, and that could save your butt in the event of a global collapse, because at least you'll have something to carry you a little bit further in the event of a global collapse. Okay, so watch this to the end of the video. Okay. Anyway, now that we're done with that, there's two things that are going on. I mentioned in a previous video the big global fiat currency swap scam will wipe you out. That's the first part. As you well know, the U.S. and China and many other countries, they all have worthless fiat currency, okay? They owe a lot more. I mean, they just print more money and they do what they want, okay? Then they swap it with other countries. That way there, if I go down, you're going to go down with me. That's fine. The rich elite are doing that. You think it's all the same thing. The Federal Reserve that we think is so nice in the U.S., they keep raising the rates now. They're screwing everybody. Well, they're behind all this, okay? The rich elites are, they're all friends across the world. Business that doesn't respect borders. All the wars, all that bullshit is BS, because the business people that are running all these countries are screwing us, and you don't even know it, and that's why you're broke, because they're going to wipe you out very soon. You're going to find out why. You're a slave to the super rich. Okay, that's part B. You're a slave to super by working for them. You're working for these big corporations that are backed by the fiat currency, because the investment they got. All these big corporations, the startups you see, Google, all these companies, Facebook, they all got money. They got money from investors, okay, the VCs. Where'd that money come from? A lot of it was printed money that the countries print. And it's loaned to the countries by these super elite. They print the money out of thin air. It doesn't even exist. Every time you get credit, the banks are creating money. And that's what's running us. That's what, you're a slave to this system. Okay, when you work for a big corporation, you're a slave. You're the freaking slave. Okay, if you don't know it, well, you probably know it, because if you go work somewhere else in a different country like the Philippines, you're gonna really find out, because you're gonna be working 6 hours straight with no break. Even going to the bathroom, you got to raise your hand and get permission to pass to go to the bathroom. That's how bad it is in some countries. China, the same thing. U.S. A little bit less, because the Americans are a little bit more smart, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, so, this global thing is going to be brutal. Now that people work for the big companies, they call them servants. If you look at the legal thing, if you look at a legal thing with companies, they do agreements. You or your servants, you are serving for the company. That's a polite word for slave. Okay, and that's what's happening. You're slaving all day long to make, they call it a job just over broke. Okay, well, now it's more like a job just under broke, because people can't live on the money they're making in the U.S. anymore. The last 20 years, the real salaries have not gone up in 20 years. A lot of people, I'm a software developer. When I was working before, I was making $50 an hour back in the 90s. Okay, here we are in the 2020s. And now they still want to pay only $50 an hour, okay, as a software developer. You know why? Because they let the U.S. government create the H-1B program. They allowed the Indians to come in. The Indian H-1Bs came in. They brought in 2014. They started bringing in 1 million H-1Bs a year. They took our jobs. Engineers too, not as much. Then you got the nurses. The medical field is rampant with that. You got nurses. We have a nursing shortage. How did that come about? Well, what happened was, the baby boomers. I'm 70 years old, so I'm a baby boomer. Okay, a lot of us started retiring about 10 years ago. Okay, about 10 years ago. Okay, we became of age. We started retiring. Okay, as you got older, some of the nurses didn't want to retire. They couldn't afford to retire, so they kept working. Guess what? They lost their job anyway because the Filipino nurses came in. They create nurses. If you try to find a doctor or nurse in the Philippines, good luck. There's very few of them because they're all here. They're all in the U.S. They're here in the U.S. Okay, because they make more money, obviously, and then they can send home to their families. They can build palaces in the Philippines. Then when they retire, they're going to go back to the Philippines, and we're going to have no doctors and nurses in the U.S. You watch and see. Mark my words. Already we have a shortage because the people got tired of this shit. They couldn't get raises. The nurses were making. I remember back in the 90s, nurses were only making 50, 60,000 a year. Now they were making close to 80, and they did the healthcare companies. They bought up the hospitals, bought up all the hospitals. Now they're all owned by big corporations. Guess what has happened now? The big corporations, they laid off the nurses. Oh, we don't need you anymore, right? They told them, oh, we're gonna cut your pay if you want to stay here and you're gonna work more hours. You're gonna work with less people. They cut the staff. They didn't hire enough staff, and especially with COVID, the people got so overworked that people just a lot of them died obviously from COVID, and then a lot of them got quit because they were just tired of it. And now we have the shortage. It's so bad. And even the Philippines government can't produce enough nurses and doctors to fill the need in the U.S. That's how bad it's gotten. And they're bringing them in from countries that are not as good, and their health care is horrible. And we're bringing them to the U.S. and they're the ones that are taking care of you. The Indians are not as good. I'll be honest with you. I've been to doctors in the U.S. and I hate going to doctors that are Indian. I'm not to knock the people or the culture, but they just suck. They're filthy. They're not clean. They're not very polite to you. They rush you. You go in, you rush, come out. 5 minutes, you're out of there. They try to get as many patients because they know they're not going to make any money unless they see 50 patients. So that's what they do. So this is why the healthcare system is broken in the U.S. The wages are going up very slowly. So you don't have enough money. Look at the inflation. Everything is double. I used to buy milk, just 20 years ago. Not even 20 years ago. I used to buy milk for $1 a gallon. Okay, sometimes $2 when it went up. We had a little inflation for a while, and it went up to $2 a gallon. Now it's $5 a gallon. And you know what? In the Philippines, you're even more. You're paying almost $10 a gallon for milk in the Philippines. Okay, so they don't have they sell by the liter. You're paying $2 a liter. So multiply that by 3.5, then you get an idea how much it is. Okay, it's over $7. So that's a lot. That's more than the U.S. It should be a third of the U.S. price, but it's more. Same thing with some other foods that you have. The chicken. Same thing. It's more expensive in the Philippines. Even the eggs are almost more. I think they're more than the U.S. by I think a penny or an egg, something like that. It's a very small amount, but it's still big. And and don't forget the Philippines is a developing country. I still I go back and forth there. It's a third world country. I mean, the infrastructure is horrible. You have 3 power failures a month, guarantee. You're working, all of a sudden your power goes out. Okay. So these are the kind of things you expect in a country like that. So with that said, I'm going to cut the video. Your code is it's going to be it's called 100XT is the code. 100XT is your code. Save it. Don't publish it anywhere because it'll be deleted. We'll delete your comment. Everything has to be approved. Thank you for watching the video. And I have a lot more coming, so keep subscribing, subscribe and keep liking the videos, so I can put more good stuff to teach how to do it. And the other thing too is the digital currency I have is backed by commodities and precious metals, and you're going to want to own it, okay? And we're going to give you some for free, and if you want to buy more, that's fine. If you do or not, that's up to you. Thank you very much for watching the video. I'll have another video that explains about the currency. Thank you.